What's up, guys? We've had a couple of people talking about all the trucks sitting around here and wanting us to do a little something and talk about all of them. I think we've talked about most of them, but we're just going to do one video and go through a bunch of the stuff we have. Of course, we started out here with Big Red. Y'all have seen us working on it lately. Loopy and Joe smoothed the frame out and got it painted. This is a 96 W900. We started out with this truck. It's a pretty nice body, bad motor. We got it down here and went through it. It's got a brand new motor, brand new 10-speed transmission, new clutch. We checked the rear ends. The rear ends were in pretty good shape. Oil in them was pretty good, no metal. So we kind of left those in there. All new air conditioning. I mean, it's pretty much everything under the hood. The harnesses, injectors, motor, everything under the hood's new. New radiator. Probably the only thing that's not new in this truck's air to air. And we started out building this truck to be our truck to replace the Peterbilt that we give away. That may or may not still be the plan. The insurance has kind of got us up in the air on some of this stuff. But we just got to get a few lights on it and get the exhaust done. A little bit of touch up. And this will be good to go whether we keep it or it gets a new home. All right, next up is one you see sitting around here. You've seen us do a little bit of work on this. This is a 1998 T2000. These are not really popular trucks, but this is a pretty good old truck. It was too good to, I bought this truck to pull the motor out of it and junk it, but the truck's actually in too good a shape to do that. I mean, it needed a little bit of touch up, a little bit of love on the body. We put a little paint on it, made it look a little better, fixed a few things that's wrong with it. Put a new set of injectors, new injector harness in it, new air conditioning, did a few things. This will make somebody a really good cheap little truck. It's got a great 12.760 series. It's 500 horsepower, 10 speed, 358 rear ends, big sleeper. It ain't nothing fancy, but it'll make somebody a really good cheap truck that'll last them for a long time. All right, so this is a 2010 Peterbilt. It's kind of a late model equivalent to the Kenworth T2000. They're about the same truck. This truck's a 2010. It's a glider. We went over this truck. We were actually building this truck to make a wrecker out of, and with the insurance stuff, we're just not going to do it. We're going to put a fifth wheel on it, finish up a few little things, sell it for somebody to use, excuse me, use for a road tractor. We'd stretch the frame out on it, doubled it up. It's got a brand new 12.7, 550 horse Detroit, brand new 10-speed. Wiring harnesses in this truck's new. The seats in this truck's new, the floor mats, the ashtray, everything in the suspension. This is basically a brand new 2010 truck, better than most 2010s because it's a glider. We really spent a lot of time and money in this truck. I'll probably never get the money out of it that I've got in it with the route we're taking, but I can't control what the insurance companies are pushing us to do. But this will make somebody a really nice truck. We're going to put a fifth wheel back on it. We'll smooth and paint the frame. This thing's long enough. I may get some Talladega fenders and put on it. I think it'd look pretty good on it. I really like the paint job that we put on this truck. It looks pretty nice. And there again, not a W9 or a 379, but it'll make somebody a really nice truck that'll last them for a long time. And this pumpkin is a General for obvious reasons why we call it the General. But this top kick, it's got a 3126 cat with a 6-speed in it. I bought this truck really not knowing. I got a pretty good deal on it. I bought it and we brought it home and did a few things to it and did a little work on it, and it actually turned into a pretty good little truck. We've used it a fair amount, a lot around here. It gets used a lot for moving trucks in and out of the shop and stuff, probably more than anything, but it's plenty capable of going out on the road and going to work. Good strong winches. This truck had 19.5s on it originally. We changed it out to 11R22s front and back and kind of beefed it up a little bit. It'll run. Before with the 19.5s, it was a stressful 66, 67, and now it's a cruising 72, 73 mile an hour truck. And it'd do anything you'd expect these little trucks to do. You get a bobtail tractor behind it turned around backwards, and it'll slow you down a little bit, but it'll just chug right along and do what it does. And this is a 05 Western Star. We've done some videos on it. It's another truck that we went through. We were going to build a little long haul wrecker out of it, put a little boom, 20-ton boom on it, and a wheel lift. And there again, with the insurance going on, just not going to happen. This truck again is pretty much brand new. We went through this thing to keep it. It's got a 600 horse, 14 liter, 60 series, 10 speed, 355 rears. Everything on this truck's new. The only thing we got left to do to it, to have it ready to go, is we'll get the frame painted, put a fifth wheel on it, get a bumper on it, and just finish out the small little details. But this will make somebody a real nice star car. And then you have the Marmon. We did this Marmon just because you don't see many of them anymore. I got a chance to buy it. We bought it. It's 475 horse, 12.7 Detroit, 10 speed. It's got 373 rears. We use it for doing splits and stuff. It's actually in the big boys lineup. You know, like if we have to go get a tractor trailer and you have to separate them to tow them a lot of times for various reasons, this thing will go get the trailer. And also we pull our landau and stuff with it. But we just kind of wanted something different. You don't see these Marmons much anymore. There's going to be less and less of them. This old truck was ugly. It was ugly when we got it, but the bones were good. And we've, there again, just about made this truck new. We didn't build a motor or anything in it. We did a lot of wiring, a lot of air conditioning, a lot of lights, rebuilt all the suspension, tons and tons of valves and air leaks and air hoses and custom exhaust, which I think turned out pretty cool for the old truck. It kind of, to me, just sets it off. But and then y'all saw while we were doing videos, Loopy was doing the Blackwood on the hood. And just a great old truck that you don't see many of anymore. This T8, I'm not sure, we'll probably just sell this truck. I really didn't even want the truck when I got it. I bought the truck because it had a DTU on it that I wanted. And I could get the truck and the DTU for about what everybody was wanting for DTUs at the time. But it's got a real stout little C13 in it, 10 speed. It's got the steerable drop axle on the back with a single pull axle. Old truck runs good, does a great job. It just ain't something that'll stay here. We're kind of locked in on the Detroit, which is not something I thought I'd ever say, but times change and things change. But this truck, we'll probably sell it. It'll probably be up for sale before long. And then of course we have Black Betty. Black Betty is just kind of the flagship of HPH. We bought this truck several years ago, I guess about 4 years ago. We stopped and went through it, new motor, had new transmission, new clutch, new rear ends, new wiring harnesses, new seats. I mean, we kind of like Big Red, we went through this thing and made it brand new. Betty's always been our long haul truck. Steven's taken this truck from Colorado, New Mexico, I think Utah once, all the way up to Maine. No telling how many times it's been to the Carolinas, Georgia. Just a great old truck. We've probably put, I would think, a couple of 100,000, maybe 250,000 miles on it since we went through it and rebuilt it. And it's just been a good old truck. She's everybody's favorite, I guess. The DTU that we run on this truck, a couple of people have asked about it. If you don't know, this is an NRC DTU. The NRC is a great piece of equipment. This one doesn't have winches on it. It's strictly just for towing. We got it just to do our long haul stuff, really. Of course, it does a lot of short stuff too, but for long haul towing, NRC is a great little setup. I guess they call it sometimes. James and Steven have a habit of naming all the trucks, in case you hadn't noticed. That's who does that. 96 Freightliner, 500 horse, 12.7, 10 speed. It's got a 25-ton Century boom on the back of it, and we've put that thing through the paces. We've run this truck quite a bit. Old Freightliner just keeps on keeping on and doing what it does. I really don't know what they've named this truck or if they've named it. This is a 98 W9 we'll wind up going through this truck most likely and doing just like we did with the other two W9s. We hadn't really had a reason to stop it. We got this truck. It started out pulling our low boy, and we kind of got away from doing the low boy stuff. 550, 12.7, 13 speed. I think it's got 373 rears in it. When we got out of the low boy stuff, we put the DTU on it. This DTU is actually the reason I bought the T8 that I was talking about a few minutes ago. It's a Miller DTU with a winch on it. I wish you had two. There's a few things about this I'd change, but it works. It does pretty good as a backup truck to Betty for long haul towing. If it's already on a tow going somewhere and we need one going somewhere else, this is the truck we would have used for that. And it works pretty well. I've actually, this is my first experience with a DTU with winches, and it kind of surprised me just how stout that thing is and what it'll pull out. It does pretty good. And you can see Joe and Loopy's got the frame smoothed out on the W9, the giveaway truck, getting ready to put a little primer on it. I think Loopy's actually moved to the front of the truck. He's done some sanding on the doors and stuff. We're getting ready to get the stripes on this and start making some pretty serious progress on it. Change some things out. Like I said, said earlier in the video, we're getting rid of the turn signals on the side. We're going to put halo lights in it with the turn signals and the headlights. I think it'll look pretty cool on this whole truck. But in the next few days, you'll see some pretty serious progress going on here on this. We'll get the stripes on it, and then we'll start doing the mechanical work, get the fifth wheel on it, and get it ready for a new home. Y'all have seen Buddy working on the Bronco a pretty good bit. We're making some pretty good progress on it. This thing actually won't take a lot longer to finish up. We're gonna get the running gear in the frame and get the body back on it for the last time next week. Buddy's got the transmission, transfer case and all cleaned up. All that was sandblasted and cleaned up and painted. And he's working on some finishing touches on the body, getting it ready to set on, and we'll get a clutch here next week and put the motor and transmission together and get them set in. This is the dash and the front grille for it, and just getting those ready for some primer and some paint, and start making some pretty serious progress on it.